Hello everyone, this is the Mgtow Cowboy. Greetings and salutations. I have a video for you this evening that is going to be a little bit more in depth. It probably won't be that much longer than any of my other videos, but it took a little bit longer for me to prepare. In fact, this is, I think, my first completely scripted video. And in fact, it's not going to be completely scripted because there was a part that I thought about that I have not yet written down. But I don't want to do too much more writing, so I just decided I'm going to add it at the end. Alright. So yeah, whatever. It's just a couple pages of thoughts I had. And the preface to this is I was listening to a video by Gentleman Knight. And he was talking, he made a video talking about a couple of topics, and one of them touched on race. And I think that most MGTOWs avoid race for good reason. I think MGTOW is mostly not about race. And he also talked about Renegade Number 1 in the same video. And I knew Renegade Number 1. We had spoken on multiple occasions. Unfortunately, Renegade Number 1, he decided to self-delete. He decided to delete himself, and that is a shame. Anyway, moving on. He was talking about how he believes that there still does exist racism in America. And I wanted to touch on that. I want to preface all this by saying I know that this is a very controversial topic. And so, I'm going to try to be as careful as I can. My goal is not to offend anyone. My goal is to give my thoughts on the subject, and I know that that my thoughts. This is not a complete analysis of the issue. This is just a very cursory. This is just a couple thoughts. In fact, I should preface all of this by saying what everyone needs to say now, which is the political correct line. I am not racist. I'm not racist. This is the Mgtow Cowboy. This is the Mgtow Cowboy. I am not racist, okay? So there, I said it. I'm not racist, right? You have to say that. You have to specifically say that, which is so dumb. Anyway, yeah, so here goes. This is just a real quick one. This is titled, Is It Harder for Black Men? And this basically is going to be talking about MGTOW understands that MGTOW understands that men have it harder in society than society wants to pretend. Well, for that matter, do black men have it harder than other men in society because of their race? And just a spoiler alert, basically my answer is yes. I know that there's another side. Part of it is the fault of black men. I understand that. But part of it is not. So anyway, here goes. Is it harder for black men? In this video, I want to talk about the topic of race within Mgtow. This is a very sensitive topic. The reason for this is that race relations make people feel very uncomfortable. The reason for race relations being so hard to talk about is that there are uncomfortable truths that exist on both sides of the argument. Complicating the matter is that political correctness stifles discussion. That being said, I want to start with the idea of success. Success for men is based on the concept that men must acquire resources to attract women and gain status. It's all about resources and access to resources. I believe that black men have a harder time acquiring resources than other men. There are multiple reasons for this. However, I think there is a reason that predominates all other reasons, and that is the concept of culture. In some cultures, it is emphasized that work is prioritized over all things. In some cultures, it is not. I believe that black culture has been poisoned with the notion that hard work and saving and thrift is not a laudable goal. Here is the most controversial part of my argument. I believe that the black community was purposely and systematically targeted for attack and predation by the social engineers that permeate our institutions of power. These institutions include, but are not limited to, the Democratic Party of the United States, the legal system, the Saks Fifth Avenue crowd, and Hollywood. When I say the Democratic Party, I mean people like LBJ, who once quipped that he would trick black voters into voting Democrat or Democratic for 200 years, while at the same time calling them the N-word. When I say the legal system, I mean all the lawyers and judges that sent black men to prison during the crack cocaine epidemic. I'm not saying that these drug offenders were innocent. No, they were quite guilty. What I am saying is that it is clear to me that harsher sentences were given out for possession of hard cocaine or quote unquote crack cocaine as opposed to soft cocaine or powder cocaine. It was understood even at that time that hard cocaine or crack was mostly used by black men or by black people. And that soft cocaine was mostly the fare for white men or white people. Couple this with the fact that the CIA was caught shipping in massive amounts of cocaine from Central and South America during the Iran-Contra affair. You can look that up, the Iran-Contra affair, into black urban centers where they taught young men like Freeway Ricky Ross, how to manufacture and distribute crack cocaine onto the streets like shrewd businessmen. I'm not saying that white men or other groups of men are not targeted for persecution or economic warfare. Rather, what I'm saying is that black men have been targeted harder and more systematically. Let's see. Also, I want to mention the Saks Fifth Avenue crowd. That is code speak for the academic elite. These are people like Edward Bernays. These people understand us better than we understand ourselves. These are expert psychologists and psychoanalysts. And I think that these people attempt to create, through targeted advertising, a desire in black men to pursue a lifestyle of conspicuous consumption. Not that other groups aren't affected by this type of propaganda. It's just that black men are affected more because black men are usually poorer, and they also tend to be less educated. So, because they are poorer, they're more likely to feel the need or the perceived need to conspicuously consume to give off the appearance of affluence. Essentially, the need to keep up with the Joneses, if you will. Me and Mrs. Jones, we got a thing going on. We both know that it's wrong. Wait, where am I? Okay, yeah, okay. Lastly, black men tend to be less educated, so they are not trained to see through the propaganda trying to get them to spend their money frivolously. You know what? I'm sorry, there was one more part. I actually did not write it. Okay, but it doesn't matter. It's mostly in my mind. I also mentioned Hollywood. So, again, the social engineers are busy in Hollywood. What do I mean when I say that? I mean like the black community or black men in particular are under attack through Hollywood. How are they under attack? essentially the creation of what we call like rap culture or thug culture, where these young, impressionable young men, who, we purposely took their fathers away through the crack cocaine epidemic. They don't have a father to teach them the right from wrong, and then we teach them improper values through false teaching, through music, through again the thug culture. Where you have these like, the Pookie and Ray Rays, the thugs who wear their pants really low and they sell drugs, and this is glorified. It's glorified. Mostly in the television and radio, mostly in the movies and music. Well, guess what? There is a certain percentage of young black men who, because they were not properly raised, they're going to gravitate towards that. Boom! Next thing you know, they're making some money selling crack or selling drugs, or getting involved in some sort of street crime. Then they get locked up. Then they get brought into the system, and then they get a record, and they can't get a job, and they don't get. Then it's harder for them to become successful, and it ruins their what's it called, their self-esteem, and And again, I'm not saying that other groups are not affected by all this. Also, they are. In fact, other groups, for example, like white men, I think white men are increasingly attacked. White men are being, I don't want to get too much off the topic, but I think that increasingly white men, for example, are being attacked. We're being told that we're terrorists, and we promote gun culture, and it's white supremacy and all this BS. Different groups, we're all under attack. I'm just talking about how black men are attacked. Okay, so I'm sorry to finish up. Okay, anyway, that's all I've got for now. I know this is not a complete analysis. I know it's not a perfect argument. I know there are other factors, and I know that there are two sides to every story. But I believe that black men are basically picked on by the government. They're not given a free pass by the legal system. They are targeted by profiteers who are constantly trying to get them to spend all their money. And they're promoted bad values. I'll add that right now. They're promoted bad values by Hollywood through the music and the movies that prey on their insecurities. All right, so I'll leave it at that. This is the Mgtow Cowboy. And if you guys like my content, please like, please comment, please subscribe, please share. Again, I'll just say it again because I know this is a real touchy subject. I don't mean any offense to anyone. And I know that this is a deeper issue. In the future, I may make videos on how other ethnic groups are attacked. But I just wanted to make this video. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. If you guys like my content, again, like, comment, subscribe, share. All right, guys, take care. This is the Mgtow Cowboy. Mgtow up.